Hello and welcome to an update video about DVN. It's one of the stocks that currently provides potentially interesting setup. Just takes a little bit of patience to let it play out, and I will try to explain the setup to you that I see here on the DVN chart. It's Devon Energy Corporation. And the DVN chart provides, as I said, a potentially interesting pullback trade setup. We want to take a look at that. First of all, however, I would like to start here on the larger time frame. We see the 4-day chart at the moment. And on the 4-day chart, what you can see is that the market likely topped in a large wave 1 in 2008. That was an impulsive move up here. It's a 5-wave pattern to the upside that can be counted. And a wave 2 pullback, A, B, C in an ending diagonal, expanding diagonal. And then, basically this move up looks impulsive, but it needs basically one more high. The idea is that now a third wave to the upside could indeed be unfolding. So that's typically the strongest wave that there is in a cycle. In the bullish interpretation, there is a very clear level that would tell us that this is not going to play out if that level is breaking. So we're going to talk about that as well. But we could be in this third wave. Then there should be a fourth wave afterwards. And then one more high basically in wave 5. Okay, but these are long-term targets. Disregard where I placed them. They are just placeholders at the moment. No real targets. However, what we can do, this is a really, really long-term perspective. See, this wave 1 developed between 1988 to 2008. And then we had a long downtrend that took 12 years to complete. So this could be a big one. So if we take a look at, measure the wave 1, go to the low of the wave 2, it gives me a potential target range for the main third wave. It will take years to get there. Don't get me wrong, right? It will take years to get there, but it's worth talking about these levels. Just first of all, we need to know them because with them we can calculate the lower degree targets and everything. But typically, what I say is that a target for a third wave, the minimum target is the 1.236 extension. We talk about $2,200 here. That's really long-term projection. Moon targets, I wouldn't necessarily focus on them right now, but it's worth watching them. And then a wave, obviously this third wave is likely going to be a 5-wave move. Would have to be. If it's a third wave, it's a 5-wave move. And therefore we're looking at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A third of a third wave often reaches the 100% extension. Then we get a bit of a pullback there maybe. What we often find is that the third wave, third of a third reaches the 100% extension, maybe a little higher. The fourth wave often pulls back to the 78.6 extension. And then the fifth wave could get another step higher, basically then to the 1.236. But again, that's years out. But it helps us to pin down some of the short-term targets, basically. What that means, the next one we need to look at is as a potential target for wave 1. It's the $102.61 level, at least something to consider. And I have to change the wave degree here of these movements. So like that. And then basically that shows us that wave 1 is likely still unfolding. Also, I can only count 3 waves up. So what I'll do, let me hide this fib level. Make the background a little bit less dense. And then we can take a look at the microstructure right now. So that already gives us a potential target for wave 1. Then we can label here the micro count. 1, 2 is pretty clear actually, pretty clean count. Wave 4 and wave 5. We could now be basically in wave 4 of that larger degree wave 1. Let me change the wave degree, and then we can, based on that, also calculate a pullback zone. And we are dealing here with typically the area between the 23.6 and the 50% retracement of the third wave. So I will add that here. This is the area. So we've really just entered it. There is plenty of space left all the way down to 24.89 if needed. 32.74 is typically an ideal target for a fourth wave. So that's something to watch. It looks to me as if something like a descending wedge might be forming there. That is typically a bit of a bullish structure. Breakout pattern to the upside. And it's a pretty good setup in my opinion, yeah. Now, obviously, I'm not going to tell you, oh yeah, it's going to break out now. We need some evidence, but it's certainly looking interesting. And let me just adjust something here. Okay. And if we now look into the detail, yeah, so I think wave 3 likely top there. Then if we look at the ABC structure to the downside, that's the structure of this decline, ABC. Honestly, I think it could, I'm not telling you it will definitely come down to the 38.2 fib. Can do. So looking at the micro structure, I mean, there are different ways how this can be labeled. WXY, then this is an ABC, you know, or 1, 2. We might now be only in the third wave. But the reality is, if it's a WXY, it doesn't need to come down much lower. If it's an ABC, this here might have been a wave 1, wave 2, 3 is now unfolding, 4, 5. That's at least something we can consider. Again, in a WXY, we don't need to come down much lower, but there's still plenty of space. Bottom line is, we're in this wedge pattern and we can watch for a potential reaction to the upside. It takes a break above minimally, and I go to the 4-hour chart now. Yeah, it minimally takes a break above the January high to suggest a low is in place. That's at $47.40. Until we get above that level, this is literally just catching the falling knife. But there are some levels to watch, and I think we are close to a low, based on especially where we come from. But yeah, I mean, it's still catching the falling knife, can easily come down to the trend line, could come down to 32.74. Only below $24, yeah, only below $24.89, I would have to change the overall bullish assumption, because a wave 4 should not break below the 50% fib level, but it's got plenty of space left. So it's just something maybe for the watch list, which I find quite interesting, because even from here, if we talk about potential target for wave 5, we talk about $100 possibly. So it's definitely something to watch. I can really only calculate a real target once we have a low in place for wave 4. But it's sort of typically a guideline that the wave 1 reaches the 61.8 extension there. And it seems a reasonable target given, you know, given where the wave 3 topped and so on. Yeah, that's my update about Devon Energy Corporation. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you're interested in daily updates about the S&P 500, as well as regular updates about stocks, check out our stocks and S&P 500 service. You'll find the link in the description. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.